always had sort of a push and pull kind of a relationship.
Jennifer's mother, a former model, constantly criticized and yelled at her daughter.
I was a chubbier kid. That's probably why I wore so much makeup. I mean, my mom wore makeup.
After her mother published a tell-all book behind her back, Jennifer vowed to never speak to her again.
Oh my God, where did you get that?
I got that out of the book she wrote.
Oh, Jesus, I've never looked at it. Wow, I never saw this. Sorry. See, isn't she gorgeous?
But are you surprised at yourself that you can't
Let it go?
transform it, redeem it?
I've definitely tried. That stubborn thing of, well, I tried enough. Now it's your turn. Now we're sort of all standing in our corners just waiting for the other to approach, probably.
What's the sentence you most like to hear her say?
Oh, I'm sorry. I get it.
You know, listening to you talking, everything you've said so far makes me think that forgiving your mom, you're just about there.
But Jennifer wasn't ready to forgive. Instead, she escaped into her work, filming a movie for a big Hollywood executive.
Harvey Weinstein is a serial predator. This was a well-known secret in Hollywood.
Years before, Brad Pitt's ex-girlfriend, Gwyneth Paltrow, fell victim to Harvey.
And I was very shaken by the whole thing. We had one instance in a hotel room where he made a pass at me. I really kind of stood up to him. I told my boyfriend at the time, Brad Pitt, he said, if you ever make her feel uncomfortable again, I'll kill you. It was like the equivalent of throwing him against the wall. It was so fantastic. And Harvey was never inappropriate with me again.
Without Brad there to save her, who would protect Jennifer from Harvey?
Jennifer told Variety it was such a level of gross entitlement and piggish behavior.
Harvey cornered Jennifer and abused his power by pressuring her to wear a dress of his choosing.
I was sad, I was mortified, I was trying to play catch up.
Harvey's attempt to control Jennifer was all too familiar. But just months after being publicly humiliated and abandoned, Jennifer was finally pushed to the edge.
Whenever you feel a little nervous about something, you have to sort of go walk towards it, so I did.
Jennifer stood her ground, and this infuriated Harvey.
Weinstein had received an email notifying him about Jennifer Aniston confiding to a friend about being attacked. There were also some other details in the email that included Harvey having a massive crush on her.
The ruthless Hollywood producer wanted his revenge.
Did Harvey Weinstein want Jennifer Aniston dead? Jen Aniston should be killed is the shocking email Weinstein allegedly sent.
Crossing Harvey was dangerous, but rising above him made Jennifer see her mother in a new light.
This is painful and this is not going away, and so there was something about having to overcome that heartbreak, especially when you love your parents so much.
After surviving the most horrifying year of her life, Jennifer was finally ready to face her mother.
After 9 years of estrangement from her mother, they've begun talking again by phone.
It's been really nice. It's crazy what, your life kind of being turned upside down will lead you to. It's always some really wonderful things that end up coming out of it. I think for us, it was the time.
Yeah.
It's healing, mending. The other day, I was doing yoga, and I said, you know what, I have to say I'm feeling a feeling I don't know if I've ever actually felt before, and that is that I don't want to be anywhere other than where I am right now. It was a feeling of total peace.
And by recognizing how far she'd come, Jennifer was finally able to make peace with Brad.
People want it to be this war and this mean, terrible, shallow thing, and it's just not.
No anger, no feeling of wasted years.
No.
None of it.
Thank God, no. Wouldn't that be a drag?
Hi, Aniston. How you doing?
Good, honey. How are you doing?
I'm all right.
After standing up to Harvey, Jennifer opened her own production company to fix the system he had abused for so long.
We're surrounded by people who found their voice and are using it. That, to me, is true power.
Jennifer's year from hell showed her that true power is choosing to take back control of your life.
Injury, depression, pain, people become comfortable with it, and it becomes part of their identity. We all have varying degrees of loss and sadness and pain in our lives. But it's a personal choice to get up and move on, be better.
I was on the way to work and my dad called me up and he'd just been to the doctor and said he had cancer and they gave him 3 months to live. I had to go to work and fake it. I had to be like happy and be Monica and go, and we went through the show. I was in a terrible frame of mind. I couldn't remember my line. I don't remember what was happening in my head, but just wasn't there. And they put me on a plane right afterwards, flew me to see my dad.
He just didn't want to go. I'm one of these people that if you say, Courtney, get me well, which is kind of what he said, I will find I sent that guy to Switzerland to do some radioactive treatment that no one ever heard of. I'm kind of, put me on a mission. We ended up living a year and a half.
You were close to him?
Yeah, really close. There's 4 kids in my family. I'm the baby.
Everyone in my family has kids. I mean, they pop out like it's nobody's business.
You feeling the itch?
Yeah, I'm 39. I've been itching for quite a while, actually.
Courtney was desperate to start a family, but she was running out of time.
For the last 2 seasons on Friends, Monica and Chandler have struggled to have a baby.
But there's a good chance this may never happen for us.
Oh my God.
For more than 2 years, so have Courtney and David.
Tell me your thoughts, Courtney, when you realized this was not going to be a snap for you and David, like it is seemingly for so many people and so many couples.
Everyone has never had a problem in my family. No one has. So to me, I thought this would not be a problem at all.
So you could get pregnant.
I could get pregnant really easily.
Retain a pregnancy.
Exactly.
During this entire time, her job was to make other people laugh.
That was hard. Sometimes, like I remember one time I just had a miscarriage and Rachel was giving birth. It was like the same time. Oh my God, it was terrible having to be funny.
If you look at some of those episodes, do you think you can tell that something was troubling you?
Probably, yeah. I bet I could.
You could, or the audience could?
Hopefully just me. I think.
Is Courtney Cox pregnant?
No.
Why not? You are trying.
Soon.
Why is there a problem? Is it your fault?
Courtney was under pressure, but there was one person who knew what she was going through.
Okay, so Jen, when this is all done, do you want to go home and have babies? Now, the woman named as one of the 50 most beautiful people is still dealing with rumors about her efforts to conceive a child with her husband, Brad Pitt. Everybody says you're having baby struggles.
I'm not having baby struggles.
Okay.
Jen helped Courtney hide her pain, protecting her from the pressure.
It's hysterical, but what else are they going to talk about? We're family. We were going to take care of each other.
After several miscarriages, Courtney learned she had a rare antibody in her blood that would attack the fetus.
I would get pregnant and then lose the baby every time. And it would either be the heartbeat was going too fast or there were some genetic issues. I just couldn't do it.
Courtney couldn't save her dad, and now she couldn't save her baby.
Your character is trying to have a baby. That must be kind of difficult to be doing this role at the same time while having to face some of those issues surrounding it.
There were some episodes that would just happen to be the exact same time that I was going through something really hard, and then they are trying to adopt Monica and Chandler, so then I'm not there.
Everyone told Courtney to give up on her dream.
I think that I've doubted myself the entire time. There's always self-doubt, always.
But just when she was about to give up, the people she loved most reminded her of who she really was.
Talk about the mother you always wanted, or the sister you always wanted. She's just taught me about, again, always being a friend.
What qualities of Courtney did you hope this little one has?
Her strength and her beauty. She's really just a dynamo. She's like a tornado. I know we're going to have kids too, and when we do, we're going to have a fun family.
I feel good. I feel confident and feel good that we will have a little David and Courtney combination. When it's meant to be, it will happen.
Would you consider in vitro?
Yes, I actually have done in vitro.
Yes?
Yeah.
I'll keep my fingers crossed.
Please.
Courtney never gave up on her dad, and she wasn't going to give up on her dream.
There are no no's. Everything's possible, so if it's something that you really want, get another opinion, go to a different doctor. There's just so many things to try, and I'm not a doctor, obviously, but just don't give up, I would say.
By never giving up, Courtney made her dream come true.
What was it like the first time you saw the
ultrasound?
Mm-hmm. First time you heard the heartbeat?
That was great. That was great, yeah.
I remember those 9 months as a whole other life. Before that baby was born, I was questioning everything. It's a chance to do something extraordinary and terrifying. There's struggle and heartbreak and joy. And on the other end, there's life.
And when her daughter was born, Jen and Courtney taught Coco to never give up.
She's incredible.
She's taught me a lot about how to be a stronger person.
Jennifer commented on a photo of her goddaughter saying, "Coco, you're growing up way too fast. I love you deep."
This is my motto in life. I just feel like, just don't give up. I'll always keep trying. I just believe that if you perseverance, just keep going and don't take no. It's just maybe not yet.
It's not the same sort of experience. It's really kind of different, and it's kind of sad. I'm like sort of what I describe as a chronic overachiever.
It's no secret that you go out with Reese Witherspoon. You two are an item.
I am that lucky, yeah.
You're going to have a baby. You and your husband must be very happy.
I have a fiance. I'm not married yet. No. We are engaged, and we are getting married soon. I mean, you know, obviously, I'm very in love. I promise he's a good guy.
I was a new mom, and I was broke, and I needed to get back to work.
I was sitting at home for probably 2 to 3 months trying to figure out what to do. So I just obsessively watched Friends. They became my friends, and I belonged there.
So you're best friends with Jen Aniston?
Oh, yes.
You guys are pals. Yeah, she's my little sister.
They married 6 years ago and have lived with incessant tabloid rumour that their marriage is stressed because she is so much more successful than him.
You make more than I do. Go ahead.
After 7 years of marriage and 2 children, reportedly cheated on the Oscar winner with actress Abby Cornish.
I mean, I don't think I ever expected this to be my life. Ever. Any woman who has a full-time job and takes care of her kids knows that it's a struggle.
It was the shock heard round the world, the breakup of Brad Pitt and Jennifer Aniston. How could it have happened to Hollywood's golden couple, and what did Angelina Jolie have to do with it?
You know, we all have varying degrees of loss and sadness and pain in our lives.
How do you move on? I have a lot of amazing women in my life who have been an example for me.
Find your voices and don't let anyone dim your spirit, your light. Even before Reese played my lovely, albeit somewhat spoiled sister, she somehow felt like family to me.
There's no gain without that pain.
What's the most difficult decision you've had to make to fulfill your destiny?
For me, probably leaving an abusive relationship.
It's really important that my daughter understands and other people's daughter understand.
A lot of the feelings I've been having about anxiety, about being honest, the guilt for not speaking up earlier. None of leaving those situations is easy. It's wrought with self-doubt, particularly if someone damages your self-esteem. I didn't have self-esteem because someone tried to take that from me. We would sit around all the women and talk about each one of us had very specific experiences, but there wasn't a woman there that hadn't been affected by abuse. If you want something done, honey, do it yourself. Leaders go first. Leaders pave a path for people to follow.
And came back to it because of the Me Too movement. Why was that so important?
It would be completely irresponsible if we hadn't incorporated it.
It just deepens the love for you, I think.
I love you for that. Well, I mean, I don't even know what to say.
I was a different person, too. It changed who I was on a cellular level. I wish I could have told my 22-year-old self that I'd be standing here one day. A woman who speaks her mind and raises her voice against the system, which underestimates her. Imagine this. What would happen if we were all brave enough to believe in our own ability? I think the world would change.
Rachel was my life. I would watch it on Channel 33 at 10:30 every night on Thursday. And I cried when the whole season was over.
I was terrified of her.
You just freak out? And
Yes,
like,
I was
love
scared, so I ran away, and I'm really embarrassed about that. But I didn't know what to do. It's Rachel.
What is his favorite feature that you love about Justin?
His eyes.
Thank you so much. Thank you for hanging out, babe. All right, James, what's going on?
It was kind of like a friendly meeting, and then instantly she's just like invited me to her house. She's amazing.
Is she? Yes. So you guys are like really friends?
Yeah. I felt like even in the hardest situations, I found myself protecting people, even if that means they were hurting me. I do feel I was a victim to certain abuse. And
you mean emotional abuse?
Yes.
I went off and just went crazy and went wild, just was, being reckless.
Justin Bieber urinating into a bucket. Justin Bieber painting graffiti on the side of a building.
Then it just started getting dark. Like there were accounts that were dissecting me down to my body, to my face, and it drove me crazy. It just destroyed me.
I had arthritis. My kidneys were shutting down.
Feeling so confident, feeling so great about myself, and then it just be completely shattered by something so stupid. From 7 years old to 27, I've been working. I grew up in this chaotic space. I did have to learn how to be tough and to be strong, but I'm not this hard person. She's very sweet, and she kind of gives me a lot of like maternal advice.
For all the girls out there who want to know, how do you do this? How do you move on?
It doesn't feel good to harbor anger and resentment. They love the narrative, they love the story, they love that she's jealous. We just got to break out of that.
When I was younger, I felt like it was weakness to be vulnerable and to share my heart with people.
It is nerve-wracking when you're putting your heart out there.
Yeah.
And yet it always seems to pay off because that's what people really respond to is your authenticity, your beauty, and your honesty.
Oh, I get it. I felt like I had gone through so much, and I'd always wonder why I had put myself through that. And then I thought, this is why. I was like, I finally get that this was the broken part, and it completed everything I needed. I won't tolerate ever being treated the way that I had been. I don't have it all, but I do know that I'm worth something.
We have to support each other, especially at this time, to love each other, to support, and to be proud of whatever your choice is in life. It's up to us what makes us happy and fulfilled.
One of the worst moments of my life ended up being the biggest blessing of my life. And I think that's strength. I'm really grateful for those things because I can turn it into something good.
Yes, girl.
Once upon a time, there was a poor little Greek girl.
Growing up in Manhattan by the name of Jennifer Aniston. It hasn't been an easy road for that poor little roly-poly Greek girl.
That's how you found out? Mm-hmm. Yeah, from a birthday party. He was quick. There 1 minute and boom. Yeah. I think it was like ripping off a Band-Aid. Probably be easier that way than a sit down and a whole, you know. That's probably why I wore so much makeup. I mean, my mom, wore makeup.
What do you love about yourself?
I love a lot about myself.
Let me count the ways.
Let me count the ways. I'm not a yeller. I like that. I worked hard on that.
Remember growing up, driving to school.
Yeah.
My mother looking at me, feeling my mother staring at me. I'm driving, my mother's over here and feeling, and then all of a sudden hearing, you should get a nose job. And then I was like, I don't want one. She's like, all right, but if you want one.
From your own mother.
My mother just staring at my profile going, that's not a movie star.
We were like 14.
We were very young. One of my buddies and Jennifer were dating, and we had breakfast. Yeah.
So you were friends before friends,
We were friends before friends.
Then we wanted Aniston to be on the show with us. I remember being on the 9th floor where Lorne Michaels' office was and seeing Jen come in. I was like, oh my God, there's Aniston. Is she about to be on our show? Her going in, having a talk, leaving, and I was like, wow, I'm gonna be working with Aniston, and then just going, she said no?
She said no, Aniston.
She's gonna do that. Friends? What the hell is Friends?
Look at her. See how gorgeous, Jackie?
Yes.
And then
Well,
listen, it works.
Yeah.
I was at their wedding, and they never stopped being madly in love with each other. So it just goes to show you don't judge a book by that cover.
no.
When are you gonna have a baby?
That's Jennifer Aniston on Saturday Night Live.
What are you gonna do when Friends is over? When are you gonna have a baby?
You said after Friends, I'm going to have children.
Yeah. Who knows? We'd definitely love to have 2, at least. It doesn't feel good to harbor anger and resentment, and we do have tools to work through stuff. Everybody does. I haven't lost a child to war. I haven't lost my home to some natural disaster. This is something that's mending. Hearts mend.
There's a lot of talk and body shaming, Jennifer. Jennifer, there's a lot of talk and body shaming.
Oh my God, where'd you get that?
I got that out of the book she wrote.
Oh, Jesus, I never looked at it.
Look at those others.
Wow. I never saw this. Sorry.
What's the sentence you most like to hear her say?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Listening to you talking, everything you've said so far makes me think that forgiving your mom, you're just about there.
What's your fondest memory in the business, in the industry?
I would have to say working with Adam Sandler.
It was nice to bring pleasure to Jennifer.
Yeah.
What was the last thing that really upset you? Something in the business?
Adam Sandler.
How do you like to have fun when you're off the set? When
We
you're
go
not
to
working?
Aniston's house a lot lately.
Come over.
She makes
my
pizzas.
House. We have pizza night. Play
Gives
pool.
us M&Ms.
Watch games.
She
Sports.
has a lot of nice TVs. I hide in one of her rooms. Every time we're with Jennifer, something great happens because she's everybody loves Jennifer. And I tend to stay at home and do nothing. And my wife is so much going, why didn't I marry Aniston? Why am I stuck with you, man?
Jennifer always, when there's water around, loves going, Adam, watch this. And she holds her nose and does a jump in the water, and she comes up, and then she does different characters' voices. She's like, hey, I'm a mermaid, right? Do it for him.
What did you put in his after lunch
You have
coffee?
to dress right, Adam.
Good.
One of the biggest snorers you'll ever hear.
You are. You are.
I was pointing at you.
Oh, don't do that. That's projection. I don't snore.
And you guys love each other. Is that fair to say?
For sure.
Yeah. I hear each of you individually talking about the other in such fond terminology.
Yeah.
Very, she's the
Must
best.
have been like real family in another life. You know, we all have varying degrees of loss and sadness and pain in our lives, and it's a necessity, honestly, because then how would we appreciate the good times and the hopeful times? And it's a personal choice to get up and move on, be better.
If you had to go back and talk to your teen self, your 20-year-old self, what was your...
Oh, immediately I'd get that nose job. She was right. Mama was right.
Harvey invited her to his home to watch a screening with his family, but soon lured her into his bedroom.
He asked me for a massage.
He wanted to take off his pants. I told him not to do that and informed him that it would make me extremely uncomfortable.